For Stephen, everything had been leading up to this very moment. He glanced upon his final foe for one last time, and pulled the trigger. And he pulled the trigger. Why is he not pulling the trigger?
I'm not sure about this.
What? What do you mean?
I mean, what's my motivation? Why am I doing this?
Stephen, you've traveled for thousands of miles across deserts and oceans to this bog to track down this Dr. Wargon. He murdered your wife, your one true love.
Yeah, I mean, you say that, but we haven't really seen enough of my wife to make me attached to the character. She was only in the story for one chapter. I feel like you haven't sucked me into the story enough.
You're already in the story.
Yeah, well, I mean, isn't the whole revenge thing a bit overdone? I mean, what if I just want to do this because I'm selfish and I have my own agenda? I feel like that suits me better.
If you want to go back and rewrite the whole story with that in mind, be my guest.
Well, if you had written this in third person, we wouldn't have this problem.
Guess what? The story is in third. I'm omniscient, and what I say goes. At this point, Stephen stopped being an insufferable want-to-be anti-hero and severed Dr. Wargon's brainstem with one shot.
Okay, how am I supposed to know how to do that? I haven't had nearly enough training for that.
You were at the military academy for the entirety of Chapter 2.
Oh, wow! Color me experienced! You know, how did everyone there have lower marks than me even though they were there for literally months longer than I was? Did that not strike you as odd?
I was wondering about that too.
Wonderful.
I'm supposed to be the greatest evil mastermind to ever grace the planet, yet I stood here orating my entire plan to Stephen so that he could have the knowledge to capture and corner me.
Yeah, I figured people wouldn't care too much about the villain's backstory. But you, Stephen, you're not like the others. You're...
Am I special? The chosen one? Why don't you just call me Mary Sue and be done with it, huh?
I'm warning you. If you're not going to be cooperative, I'm going to have to force you to be.
How you gonna do that?
Stephen whimpered, his voice quivering like a little girl.
Hey! That's not how I said that at all!
Stephen bawled, smashing the ground with his fists like a petulant child. He was also naked.
That is totally inaccurate!
Stephen now finally turned the gun on Dr. Wargon, and...
I stood behind Dr. Wargon. And despite everything he had done, I began to feel pity on the man.
What? What are you doing? You can't just speak the story out loud.
And with my unsheathed rifle laid out before me, I wondered whether or not I could make the shot from here. And I wondered even further if I wanted to make the shot at all.
Stop trying to be conflicted.
Perhaps it would be best to leave Dr. Wargon alive.
Wargon!
Dr. Wargon alive.
Thank you.
For if he was dead, what would be left for me to do?
Stephen, what is this all about?
When all this is over, what happens to me?
It was obvious. I, the narrator, get to move on, and the story would be over. And Stephen would be left with nothing more to do. Oh.
Your story, it's okay. A bit cliched in places, admittedly, but I've enjoyed it. You know, it's clear my arc was to find the doctor and kill him.
Yes, that's right. But you've almost accomplished that. Is that not good enough?
You get to move on, narrate other stories, meet other characters. Me, I'm just stuck here. No drama, no change, just everlasting conclusion.
The emptiness was apparent in Stephen's eyes now.
I just don't want my story to end.
Okay then. I think I may have a solution. How about I write another? A sequel. This seemed to brighten Stephen up considerably.
Okay, on one condition.
What's that?
At least half the chapters have to be in first person.
Done. With that, Stephen gleefully pulled the trigger of his rifle, sending the man who murdered his wife into oblivion. He lowered his weapon and stood there. The whole world was laid out in front of him, and even though he felt one story was over, little did he know another was about to begin.
Still a little cliche.
And you're still naked.
Touché.